Oh, intro time. Live coverage of tonight's race presented by Asphalt Racing Network, sponsored by Decals, Paint, and Photoshop. And of course, Young Hitter Collectibles on a whatnot for all of your new and old die-cast needs. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in here to the NARS Truck Series. Watkins Glen is the home of tonight, where we take on a crazy road course for the Napa Auto Parts 160. Should be a good race here tonight for you folks. Overview of the track here tonight. Of course, some drivers have got their qualifying positions already set. As you can see, a beautiful Watkins Glen track we have to deal with here tonight. Of course, it is a little bit of a longer race when it comes to miles, but not on distance. Drivers will have a good race here tonight. Of course, Watkins Glen, a 2.45 mile track, 40 miles per hour into pits and exiting as well. Of course, 4 configurations, but we are using the Cup Series configuration here tonight. Of course, day race, as there is no night lighting, say that 5 times fast, here on the track today. Of course, as always, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tyler Jones, and we have our buddy Kenny back in the booth for another one here tonight. Of course, we have some new things that we're showing off here tonight, including a new camera package. As always, adding to what we have for you guys on a weekly basis, and it's only going to get better as the weeks go on. Right now, looking at Christopher Franz. He is starting his qualifying time right now. Should be a good race for not only these drivers involved now, but of course, some of the drivers trying to hunt down a good position on points. Kenny, how you feeling? First road course you're about to call here, buddy.
Well, I'm feeling all right here today. It's definitely going to be an interesting one because we're not just turning one direction today.
Not at all. I mean, it's going to be a little bit difficult. Coming into this race right now, there's only 2 drivers that are full-time locked into the playoffs. That is going to be the 73 of Lucas Lewis and the 83 of Peter Hoppy. Everybody else still trying to get that position in locked for the playoff run. Of course, Owen Lax in 3rd on points. Charlie Bennett in 4th with Fisher in 5th. I mean, we still have a stacked top 5 right now. A lot of names that are in contention for not only a truck championship, but a cup championship as well. Just outside of that top 5 is going to be Josh Ryder in 6th, Ace Wells in 7th, Barris in 8th, Battersby in 9th, Minor in 10th. Rounding out the top 10, the last 2 in at this point in time, if playoffs were to start right now, are James Manderud and Dave Stinson. Of course, once again, ladies and gentlemen, a beautiful track here tonight. Of course, welcome in. If you are tuning in here live, whether that be on Twitch or YouTube, we appreciate you coming to hang out with us here tonight. Of course, it's going to be a pretty quick race. No NASCAR cautions. It is strictly going to be sector cautions, aka if someone were to wreck, it's going to be notified that there was a wreck in here to proceed with caution. It will not be thrown. And then on top of that as well, we are going to have to, we're going to have possible track blockers. When the track blockers come about, then at that point in time, you know, the caution will be thrown. So something we're going to have to pay attention to slowly but surely, but we will figure out how it's going to work for the drivers tonight. Of course, Kenny, not much of a road course guy yourself, so not much for you to relate to here, of course. But how do you think the racing is going to go for a lot of these drivers now?
You know, partner, I always like gold, like being moving fast. And I know that a lot of the drivers feel the same way, so I know that they're probably going to be a little bit more quick to tempers and already just not going to be having much fun to begin with. So it's going to be interesting to see how quickly tempers could flare here.
Of course, warm-up starting now. 9 minutes left until green flag. Of course, a lot of rivalry is going to be on the track. You know what they say, top 10 is where it's normally at when it comes down to fighting for positions, fighting on the field on a weekly basis. Of course, a lot of these guys are friends on and off of the track. But will that make a difference when it comes to the green flag? Of course, you're seeing a beautiful view of the track here right now. Following Mark Randall, last year's winner in the Cup Series, Owen Lax, now taking a chance at the trucks.
Yes, I did get it. What do I do?
back. 3 minutes left in warm-ups here before we go crazy on the Glen. Of course, doubleheader this week. Glen here in the trucks. The Cup cars are also sitting in the infield as well, ready to go green in just 24 hours from now. Of course, Owen Lax was your winner last year. Definitely wasn't a week ago. Last year in the Cup cars, looking to try to do it again tomorrow. Of course, a lot of competition here this season for the Cup side, so it will not fare easy for him. Of course, drivers going to give it their all as much as possible. And only one will be able to come out as the winner. So that will also be a who is going to win moment. Right now, you still have an opportunity. You see the ticker up top. If this is your first time joining in, you don't know who to root for, look at that ticker on the top of your screen, pick a number, and put it in chat. Don't be a front runner. Let us know who you're rooting for before the green flag drops. Of course, if this is your first time to the channel, welcome in. We go live multiple times a week. 5 days to be exact. You can find us on Mondays, the American Stock Car Racing League. 9:05 for their green flag. Right time ARCA on Wednesdays. Thursdays is the Truck Series. Same start time, 9:05. And then, of course, NARA's Truck Series, which you're watching now at 8:45. And, of course, Saturdays is the final farewell tour to the Gen 6 cars. That will be at about 8:45 start times as well. Tomorrow, going back to the Glen. Of course, drivers pretty spread out right now, trying to get their warm-ups in, get comfortable with the cars, figure out what they need to be doing for the rest of tonight's race. They still have a long way to go. What was that? Not a way to mess up somebody's practice session. Of course, we have a lot of cameras for you guys here tonight, debuting a lot of new cameras. 48 seconds left until we go green. We will also see the green flag starts on the flag man. Of course, spotter cam in the sky as well. You very much well could be. Of course, a lot of beautiful cameras for you guys here tonight. Warm-ups now over. Getting ready to go green. Beautiful scenic cam looking at the pit entrance to the start-finish line. Of course, tonight on your pole position, it's going to be someone very familiar with this track as he has already won once here before. That is going to be the 14 of Owen Lax. Sitting in second place is going to be Charlie Bennett. Lucas Lewis claims the third position with Isaiah Fox outside in fourth. Peter Hoppy rounding out the top five. Just outside of the top five, it's going to be the sixth car of Cole Darcy. Now, of course, Jordan Fisher in seventh. Josh Ryder in eighth. Mark Randall Jr. in ninth. And rounding out your top 10, it's going to be Dylan Barris.
And in 11th place, you have Dave Stinson. In 12th place, we have Nicholas Will. And in 13th, Christopher France. 14th place, James Mandarood. My bad.
There you go.
15th place, Tyler Sanchez. 16th, Ryder Morgan. 17th, Hunter Battersby. And in 18th and last place, Kyle Sims.
Only 18 drivers here tonight. It is definitely going to be a good one. Looking back to your top 10 on screen right now for you guys. A lot of names that have been called in here. Only 2 for wins right now that are locked in as full-time drivers. That is your 5th place sitter of Peter Hoppy and your 3rd place sitter of Lucas Lewis. For the truck side, not many wins have been given out to full-time drivers. That also kind of has some opportunity for a new driver to come in. Looking at today with Lax getting that pole time with a 1:13. I mean, of course, everybody else is pretty close in times, but I mean, we've seen Lax do it before. I feel like Lax is going to be able to do it again tonight, partner. Who do you think has the ability to win?
You know, it's hard to, argue against Lax with the consistency that he provides week in, week out, and the fact that he won here last year. Again, like I said earlier, this is a track that not a lot of these guys are going to like. They don't really like road courses too much. They really do like going at ovals. So I do agree with you there. I think Lax has really just got the best shot here.
Well, we are now just strictly moments away from watching. Drivers getting familiar with the track now as they have all week. Of course, Watkins, Glen have been the official races this week, so these drivers have had a lot of time to get comfortable in the cars and do what they do best. Now, of course, you see a lot of the dust flying around on the track here tonight. That could hinder a lot. Not saying that it can, but it just might.
You know, partner, one of the hard things that a lot of these guys will have to go through during this entire race is NASCAR is a lot more, NARS in general, is a lot more lenient on track limits. But you also don't want to take too much advantage of that, because if you start catching a bit of that grass, you could end your day pretty quickly.
Oh, for sure. Grass will be a killer here tonight. Of course, it's going to make or break somebody's race. And it could also end your night pretty early on. I mean, looking right now, trying to get the camera set up for you guys. Nose cam and gearbox cam now. So you'll be able to see from the perspective of a few drivers here. We've got one set on Lax. We've got one set on Fisher as well. There we go. Now everybody's nose cams are working. Maybe. We'll have some roof cams from some. Doesn't seem like we'll have roof cams from all. Same with gearbox. Some will have gearboxes or roof rear. Some won't. We're trying to make it work for you guys. Of course, now pace lights are off, signaling we are green this time for the first lap. 72 laps here today. This is where it gets tricky. Who will have the long run? Who will have the speed? Of course, stages not being long. 20, 20, and 32 for the night. Here we go in the restart zone.
With the green flag out, let's go racing, boys.
Entering turn one is going to be the tricky part of the night.
Lucas Lewis there already giving a little bit of love to Charlie Bennett. going through out of turn 1 there, giving him a nice little bump, kind of pushing him out the way, taking second place there.
Already making some moves pretty early on here tonight. Of course, you know, you expect it. You don't expect these drivers to sit long before they actually get an opportunity. Passing right now, they're already trying to do so. Of course, Lucas Lewis and Lax were fighting pretty hard last year at the Cup side when it came to Watkins Glen as well.
And Isaiah Fox just spun out there, going through what was 3-4, and was able to recover, but almost caught up about 3 or 4 guys into it before they were able to get out of the way there. That could have been a catastrophe right off the get-go.
Yeah, cutting through the grass, trying to regain, lost all that time, went to the back of the pack. You're seeing that on your screen right now. Of course, that did not help his cause. Now he's sitting back in 14th, 10 spots down from where he qualified. Of course, Darcy already up 2 positions from where he started the race out. He's currently sitting in 4th. Top 5 spot right now going to the 32 of Josh Ryder, with a few cars just behind if they enter the bus stop this time. Biggest thing is not to spin out here. You don't want to kill the truck early on tonight. Of course, that could be a pretty big problem here, as we might see it a few times tonight. Back up to the lead. Owen Lax still in first place. Lucas Lewis sitting in second. 0.3 of a second behind the 14 of Lax. Now going ahead and showing you guys something new we've put together here today. It's what we call 2 views. Maybe if the other one wanted to work right now, see if we can get that camera feed up and running for you. Oh, maybe TV doesn't work. We'll have to try to go back to that at another time.
Yeah, it's already broke on us. Darn.
Already broke.
Of course.
Man, it's normally about how it goes here. We never get nothing easy.
The front right now.
Now we got it working. 2 view live now. There we go. Following drivers at the front and the rear of the fields at both points in times. course, right now, looking at the front, Lucas Lewis currently in the lead. Lax in second place. We're doing pretty good right now so far. Only lap 5 out of 20 for stage 1. Drivers are doing as much as they possibly can to hold down the fort right now. Of course, you know, not wanting to lose position early on, but you're also not wanting to gain a position early. Of course, you know, you kind of want to just find that middle ground. Be comfortable, be patient, and it'll come to you. You don't want to show the drivers in front of you or behind, you know, what you have the capability of doing. It's kind of what we're seeing for a lot of drivers here right now. They're just holding down their positions. They're paying attention. They're just zooming on by. Currently, Lax still holding lead strong behind Lewis. Excuse me, Lewis holding lead strong behind Lax. I'm getting tongue-tied already, and it's only lap 7. Jesus. Try it again. 14 more laps to go here tonight for stage 1 out of 3 stages of racing. Pretty hard-fought battle we're seeing from these drivers already. I didn't expect anything else. These two were kind of at each other's necks in the Gen 6 when we came to Watkins last time. So it's very reminiscent to see them back doing it again. Of course, 3 drivers already out. 16, a Ryder Morgan. He did start. Only got 2 laps down and parked the truck. Kyle Sims and Battersby did not even start. So they will finish in 17th and 18th place. If they are awarded points, that's where they will be scored. Stinson in the 20 into pits right now. Seems he had a little incident. Same as Fisher. Darcy also trying to catch up on everything. Darcy seemed to have a little off-track incident.
Yeah, so partner, I was actually switching through some of the cams there, and I caught it just as Parker started having an incident. He was going through turn 1 and lost it, and actually ended up hitting the inside wall there a little bit. And then it kind of caused a chain reaction behind him, about 3 or 4 more cars to kind of lose a bit of control and kind of wipe out there. So I think that's going to be some of the struggles we're going to start seeing all day, is these guys just trying to kind of figure out this track. And, you know, you can set up a car however you want, you know, change PSIs or do whatever you'd like to a car, but it ain't really going to make much of a difference on a road course.
No, it really won't make much of a difference. I mean, you see it here too. Stinson getting in a wreck with the 09 of Fox. Just came up, spun both of these drivers around, boom, to the inside wall. That's where Stinson's in pits for right now. He actually got towed into pits, so not a good sign for him early on here tonight. Now, looking on the field right now. Going back to our 2 view. Front pack following Owen Lax and Lucas Lewis. Rear following Nicholas Will right now in 10th place. Will's up 2 positions from where he started. Pretty good moves right now. Not enough, though. He is pretty far back, about 29 seconds back from the leader of Lucas Lewis. I mean, right now, you know, partner, he's got a lot to go if he wants to get up to that front and hold that front confidently. Now, it seems like we had a little situation with Tyler Sanchez. We'll still show you the rear on the right-hand side live. Left-hand side is your replay. Contact on the right rear from the 27 of Christopher Franz, spinning out the 75 of Tyler Sanchez. Put him in a bad spot. Now we're back live on the left-hand side of the screen. Lucas Lewis still in the lead. A lot of time left to go. 10 laps out of 72 laps in total. They still have 10 laps to go for stage 1. Now, of course, Charlie Bennett holding on strong in 3rd place right now. He's not too far back, about 2.6 back from the leader. 10 laps to go. Mark Randall Jr. sitting at about 4th right now. Doing a pretty good job holding on as much as possible to a top 5. Nicholas Will now up to 5th place. 3 Rams within the top 5. 1st place, 4th, and 5th. Cole Darcy right now to 65, sitting in pits. He has moved down to 8th, now falling down to 9th. Franz in 6th place as he passes him there. Notice he is missing a left front fender. Not a good situation for him to be in. He's going to have a lot of aero loss and, of course, damage on the vehicle. Lax back in the lead. Lucas Lewis goes down to pits this time.
That might have just been what Lax was kind of wanting in this situation right now, to get Lucas kind of off of his back. They've been battling back and forth pretty much since the beginning of the race. So I bet you that Lax is feeling pretty good right now that he's got him off his back, and he can probably slow it down a little bit and not be as hard on the car.
Now you can see it, Charlie Bennett giving it all he's got, trying to get up to the rear bumper of Lax, entering the bus stop right now. Looking at the rear view cam of Lax, you can see Bennett in the distance. Bennett back 3.4 seconds. Still has a lot to go. Love these cams, man. They're great touch to the race. Of course, Lax now into pits this time by, which means Charlie Bennett's going to pass him and does. There's Lax on the inside of the pit wall. Now it is up to Charlie Bennett with 8 laps to go. He still hasn't pitted yet. He's trying to put as much time and distance on as possible in order for him to get that advantage. Of course, Lucas Lewis only 32 seconds back. As now the 08 will pass the 12 of Will, putting him a lap down. Of course, driver's doing a really good job right now, not really trying to make advances. Of course, you know, from what it seems so far tonight, if they've come naturally, they'll take the position, but they're not trying to go a little too aggressive to get it. Now, of course, Lucas Lewis back out on the field. Guess who's in front? Owen Lax. Lewis does have the opportunity to get that positioning. With 7 laps, I mean, he's down at 25 seconds. It's not really out of the question, but I mean, at this point in time, it'll probably be a little bit tough for him to do so.
Charlie Bennett looks like he's coming into the pits this time, so now Lax is going to be able to make up a lot of that time skidding out as he's trying to come into pits, maybe coming in a little hot there.
Does not seem to have a black flag.
Yeah, I was going to say, might need to keep our eyes out for that. I'd imagine that the race control is definitely taking a look at that one, because that looked a bit close.
He seemed to be good. Of course, you know, locking up the brakes so he can get that fast pit entrance is all time really matters when you're entering, but it's not going to matter for him because Lax is still going to whiz past him. Now Lax gets the position back. Of course, Bennett not having that black flag, so he should have a fast stop. He's already back out, back down to third for him. So now he knows he's got to pit sooner. If he wants to hold that lead position like Lax, he's got to pitch sooner, roughly about 2 to 3 laps sooner. If you're the first one in, you'll normally cycle back out to that lead as you're seeing the 14 car do here now. Of course, Lucas Lewis, 5 seconds back. He has done an immense amount of work so far to catch this driver in the 14. Now 5.5 seconds separate both these drivers with 6 laps to go. I mean, you see him right there. He's on screen. He's a little ant in the middle of the track going into the last 2 turns before we get to the start-finish line. But like I said, it's really not out of the question for Lucas Lewis right now to possibly take that first place position away from Lax.
You know, partner, he's shown multiple times that he's got the speed, whether it's in the trucks or in the cup cars, man. He's always shown that he's got the speed to get up to the front and battle it out. And him and Lax in the past few weeks have had some great racing against each other. So, you know, there's always that possibility when you talk about Lucas Lewis and Owen Lax racing against each other.
Now, of course, 5 left to go in stage 1. Peter Hoppy sitting in 4th place right now, 1 position up from where he started. His pit lap was 9. Earliest among some of the earliest to pit, Mandarud in 10th, pitted at lap 9 as well. Boris in 6th, pitted at lap 9 as well. Lax pitting at 12, so if you want that lead position, it seems like 12 is the place to be if you have the speed. Now, of course, some time going to take effect into there. It's all going to be on user error. Seems like we missed a few incidences. Tyler Sanchez had another wreck. Seems to be a solo. Because he is in pitch right now. Or was in pitch for a pretty long amount of time. You saw the spin out there. Able to keep it off the wall. Christopher Franz as well had an issue on the track. Ooh, hard hit to the wall. Of course, the last few incidences we've seen from drivers on our side. Boris with a solo coming out of the carousel. Josh Ryder as well having a situation. Cole Darcy in front, Josh Ryder. Darcy sitting in 7th right now. Fisher has been in pits.
Oh, and Sanchez just spun out again in the bus stop. Almost smacked the wall there, but just barely saved it. Sorry to interrupt you there, partner.
No problem.
It seems like Sanchez is really struggling here today with Watkins Glen. Struggling with keeping that car just straight as of right now.
Sent it too hard in the bus stops, hit the rumble strips while trying to downshift. There is your problem there. Fisher in pits. He's been in pits for about 13 minutes. 12 minutes in the stall. Not a good situation. 27 of Christopher France around. Just in front of the leader, too. Looks like he made contact with Lax. Lax had the position. He made contact with Lax. Spun over the front. And then did it again. With traffic. I mean, not a good situation to find yourself in.
Yeah, you got to feel bad for France in that, because you know that he definitely did not intend to end up in that situation and running into Lax like he did. So you know he's probably feeling pretty bad about that whole situation to begin with, because you never really want to intentionally kind of get into people.
No, that's really not your main goal here. I mean, it's road course racing. A lot of drivers already know that, you know, it's not going to be the best night for them. A lot of drivers as well, you know, kind of try to just inherently sit in the back, just play the patient game, and get the positions when they can. You know, it's an unfortunate situation for a lot of the drivers, you know, having to deal with wreck after wreck after wreck, you know, just from a bad move or an early jump on throttle. You know, it is difficult. I've been in the same situation as well. You know, the truck's inherently better than the O'Reillys or the Cup cars here at this track. So, you know, the driver's practically having the best car to do the race with. But, you know, things still don't go as planned. Now looking up, Lax in the lead with 1 to go. Lewis is in second. He's still holding on by about 5 seconds. He's had 6 laps to get that time off. He has not been able to get that time off. So as of right now, the way it's looking up to Lax, which he almost did with the 27 of France, it does not seem like Lucas is going to be able to get it done for stage 1. Lax only has 2 more turns to go before the stage is over. Lap 20 being completed this time by. Sorry.
Partner, I was stripping through the field here, kind of looking at some of the damage that's already been done on a lot of these cars. I'm already noticing a trend to the left front quarter panel there, pretty much all being gone for about half the field.
Yeah, that's about right. I mean, a lot of the turns, you know, we're used to going left, but we're not used to snapping left to go right. So a lot of the turns sometimes can be a little tricky. It can be a little bit difficult. And, of course, I get kicked out of the sim. Well, it's perfect timing anyway, because Owen Lax will win stage 1. So with that being said, we're going to hit our quick commercial break. We're going to reload the sim like it does to me every single day. And we'll be back with the start of stage 2. Don't go anywhere, folks.
cell phone bills. That's why I cut my car in half. This year, let's cut even more things to show people how much they can save. Let's cut the face off of our helmets. Let's cut the top off of our steering wheel. Let's even cut our hats.
Isn't that just a visor?
Shut up, Chris. Great. Can't wait to see what y'all come up with.
Get your second month free with Consumer Cellular.
Experience the world's most legendary racing events with iRacing. iRacing special events allow any member to compete in full-length multiplayer races based on some of the biggest events in motorsports all year round. Compete in virtual endurance races, such as the Daytona 24, Spa 24, and the Nürburgring 24 Hours. Take on some of the toughest races on the NASCAR schedule, such as the Daytona 500. We have events from disciplines all across the racing world, from the Indianapolis 500 to the Chili Bowl, from the Bathurst 1000 to the Crandon Championship. Our endurance special events utilize iRacing's team feature, where members can sign up and race together on their own team, swapping drivers throughout the race. Other events utilize iRacing Super Sessions, where you're not only racing against those on track, but against every driver taking part. And as every race progresses, watch and feel the track change with progressive time of day, dynamic weather and rain, and dynamic track debris and surface changes. Take on your favorite discipline or try a brand new racing challenge with our biggest races of the year, the iRacing Special Events. Learn more at iracing.com/special-events.
Of course, we're back. Appreciate you guys hanging around through that commercial break. Stage 1 already over. Stage 2 just moments away from starting. Of course, you've seen Owen Lax take it by 5 seconds over Lucas Lewis. Now, start of Stage 2 in just a few moments. Lax still claims that first position with Charlie Bennett now. Going to be starting in line 1. Lucas Lewis and Peter Hoppy, line 2. Mark Randall Jr., Dylan Barris, line 3. 7th and 8th for line 4 is going to be Nicholas Will and Isaiah Fox. And line 5, rounding out your top 10, is going to be James Mandarud and Cole Darcy. Getting ready to go green back here. It's been some good racing for first 20 laps. The next 20 laps about to start now before we get to the last stage, that being 32 laps long. It's going to be a quick one tonight. Quick one tomorrow as well for the Go Bowling 72. It's going to be about the same situation. Quick, short, concise stages that show your overall capability off of your wins, off of your consistency, and of course off of your positioning. Since we had a reset, we have lost our cams. We will reset them at some point in time. Now here we go. Flag stand view Someone wrecking in the back, Mark Randall. Green flag out now for the restart. Not a good start for Mark Randall. He is now fallen all the way down to 10th. Lack still in the lead. Lax, Lewis, and Charlie Bennett held those first top 3 spots for almost the entire duration of Stage 1. Lax pitting at lap 12 in the stage to give him that stage win. He came out as the leader. He went down 3 spots, waited for Lucas to go in and Charlie to go in, and took that lead back. So you got to wonder if they've done some R&D. If they realize now that that's where you need to be to get that win. Of course, we'll see it here when it comes back down to the green flag pit cycles for stage 2. A lot of accidents happening in the back right now. Going through them a little bit as they go side by side for the lead. Tyler Darcy kind of slowing down a little bit there in the back end. He went through the field, spun himself out into the front wall. Boris as well. Caught Peter Hoppy in with it as well. Came back up on the track right into the 78 of Mandarin. And of course you saw Christopher Franz right there spinning out right after the fact, already missing that front fender. Sitting in the middle of the track. Keeps it rolling green. So it seems like these restarts not good for these drivers right now. A lot of difficulty. Of course, you know, these trucks are easy to spin. You've got to pay attention and calm down a little bit. Of course, as of right now, oh, a little bit of camera issues. There we go. Apologize about that, folks. As of right now, Parker Motorsports trying to do what they do best. Of course, last week, Lucas Lewis had the win at Bristol, locking himself into that position. They returned to victory lane last week after 2 months winless. Of course, that was since Fisher's last win at Daytona in the inaugural truck race. The team has 2 wins as an organization in the truck series, but it is tied with RVR and Red Tail Racing with 2 wins each. Black's doing a really good job. Strong driving right now in the front of the pack. Of course, 14 to go already. Really jumping those curbs there. That can be detrimental. We're seeing it work for him right now. About 1.5 seconds roughly back from Lucas Lewis. Isaiah Fox in 4th place right now in his own truck tonight. Isaiah Fox has been relegated to his own team after he was dropped by Owen Lax Motorsports. He has filled his own truck under Red Tail Racing. Now, of course, 13 to go in stage 2. Fisher in pits. He has been in pits for a long time. He unfortunately is wrecked out after a broken left front end stemming from the contact with Isaiah on lap 1. So an unfortunate end for the night for him, you know, trying to do as much as possible for the team. And just falls up a little bit short tonight early on. 09 right now, sitting in 4th. Didn't get too badly damaged after that first contact. Speaking of which, almost breaks loose right there. Saw that rear end start kicking out just slightly. He managed somehow to pull it back in.
You know, partner, it seems like tonight a lot of the incidents that are happening is really just seeming to be self-sabotage. These guys are having a hard time keeping these cars under control going down the track. So you're wondering what game plan they're kind of coming up with in their own mind to figure out their way of getting out of this rut that everyone seems to be in, unless you're Lax or Lewis.
I mean, it's going to be a difficult situation. I mean, right now, Owen Lax, practical master class of the field right now. Last time, an immaculate time. We're going to put this up on your screen so you can see it. If my mouse here in the booth actually wants to work for me. This is what happens when you go wireless, trying to be you know. Be a little bit of fancy pants. There we go. I blame Watkins Glen. It's the Trax mouse. Now, of course, Owen Lax's last time, a 1:13.306. That is the fastest time recorded on the track.
You know, partner, it's kind of like you just said, it might be this track, because it seems like everyone from the drivers to the broadcasters to even the race control and admins are having troubles tonight with something somewhere.
I mean, it would make sense. Welcome to New York, huh? My home state doing me wrong.
Oh, Isaiah Fox right behind Charlie Bennett. Bennett spins out. Fox gets around him, but he's into the grass. That was at the bus stop. It looks like Charlie Bennett just lost it. Didn't look like there was any contact between the two, but it does look like Isaiah Fox benefited from that.
Well, Isaiah barely skirted on by there.
Yep, that was great control by Isaiah, because he was mere centimeters there from making contact.
Now, of course, 10 to go, stage 1. Peter Hoppy now in. Here's the first one to go in within the top 5. Lax has led 22 laps up until this point in time. Only 30 laps officially done. They're about to finish 31 this time.
Looks like Lucas Lewis is going to go in this time. Lax opting to stay out right now. Isaiah Fox in third, going to take it second from Lewis.
You know, that could now benefit Fox.
You begin to wonder real quick, you know, as we commonly know, when you're up in the front, especially on these types of tracks, you know, who goes in first in pits ends up kind of being, a lot of times who's going to end up being back up in the front leading the race. You know, thinking that Lewis isn't really catching up to Lax in the sense of actually his driving. Maybe his idea is pit a little early and catch him that way.
I mean, Lewis will pay attention. Lewis will watch. He's probably already noticed Lax's pit style, and he's trying to replicate it right now. I mean, for him, it actually might work out. He might benefit from it.
Lax opting to stay out this time as well. Fox staying out again as well. Charlie Bennett staying out, so Lucas Lewis already about 2 laps ahead of everyone when he pitted.
I mean, that should set him up in the wheelhouse for the rest of this race, though, so... Or, excuse me, the rest of this stage, though, so nothing to worry about there for him. Of course, not just waiting to see when Lax is going to go in. I mean,
I think he's going to be pitting this time by here. Yes, he is going in now.
now going to view right now, we're following Lucas Lewis as he is coming around, trying to catch up on the front stretch. Owen Lax in pitch right now.
Lewis still right on his rear, hoping to take advantage of this opportunity for him right now.
Now, Cole Darcy, Charlie Bennett. Whoa, big cut.
Now, partner, I know we don't care too much about track limits, but I feel like there wasn't much of a reason to end up where he went there.
No, now you're seeing Lax put a crazy block after block on Lewis. Surprised he didn't have to slow down and give position for that one.
These two really trying to duke it out here, but Lewis is about 2 to 3 laps on older tires than Lax. Actually, I don't even believe they took tires. If I'm mistaken, it looked like everyone was just getting gas and going.
Yeah, gas and go. 20 laps really isn't going to eat up tires here. Of course, tires at your stage break, but you know, you could limp your tires around.
Lewis is getting a little bit squirrely out of 2 there as they're going through the bus stop, catching up a little bit more time back onto Lax there, but he lost a good chunk, and that could hurt him with how consistent Lax has been so far at this track.
I mean, once again, Lucas in second place. What would be if Bennett and Darcy go in? I mean, they're going to have to go in at some point in time. It's kind of hurting them staying out. They're only 10 seconds ahead. Darcy goes in. Bennett trying to stretch it right now. Like I said, he's only 10 seconds ahead of Lax in second place. Don't really think it's going to work out in his favor the way he's thinking it might.
And honestly, with how Lax has been running with this race, he can make up that 10 seconds rather quickly if you let him. So it may, as you said, it may not end up paying off the way he was hoping.
No, I mean, Lax setting faster times.
Lewis with an insane overtake. Lax spinning out in the bus stop. Lewis avoiding it.
That is going to be the end of stage 2 for Lax.
And it was almost like some spidey senses on Lewis's part. I mean, kind of just immediately dove out of the way once they started entering the corner there. Almost as if he kind of predicted that Lax was going to start spinning out.
Look, he might know something we don't know. Going to the blimp cam here for these two drivers. Yeah, just barely gets out of the way. Oh, man. Lax now going to be 9.6 seconds back. Off your leader of Lucas Lewis. 4 to go. And now unless Lucas has a problem, the 14 is going to have to finish in second place as long as he can hold off the 83 of Peter Hoppy.
Actually, partner, looks like Charlie Bennett's going to be getting second here. He's still out there powering along.
Charlie Bennett is currently in 5th. The reason he dropped back so hard is probably due to the fact that he's trying to save gas to preserve it. With 3 laps to go, doesn't seem like he's too hard onto the throttle right now, so it's gonna really affect his race. I mean, him and Darcy are 5th and 6th place right now. Bennett has pitted at lap 36, so that's where their fall off is. 36 and 35 respectively for Bennett and Darcy. A lot of drivers in pits and not probably going to finish the rest of the night. Mandarud, first one lap down in 9th. Nicholas Will in 10th right now, a few laps down himself. Josh Ryder in 11th. Sanchez, Franz, and Fisher all in pits.
Peter Hoppy here, trying to make a last-minute move on Lax.
I mean, we got 2 to go. It's now or never. Hoppy in the preferred lane now on Lax.
And that is definitely not something Lax wanted, especially after spinning out there in the bus stop just a few laps ago. This is not what he needs to happen right now.
No, definitely not. I mean, especially fighting for second place is not the win of the stage, you know, so you don't want to be too aggressive. You want to let your opponent know you're there and you're not taking no BS, but, you know, you still have to be respectful, of course. Not saying either of them haven't been so far, but you know, it just gets to a point where you don't want to try people. This isn't the track to test somebody's patience. I mean, of course, you know, moves are moves, but you keep trying to move and it's aggressive each time, then, you know, might have some problems on the field. Right now, looking good between those two drivers. Hoppy gets around, currently in second place. Not too much of a gap to Lax, about a second and a quarter. But they are disconnected 5 seconds almost entirely from your leader. Of course, Lewis doing really good. One more lap to go. Of course, Lucas Lewis holding the fort down. He's going to be able to do it here. He crosses the line for stage 2 and finds himself with a victory for stage 2. Of course, another long caution, or excuse me, a long stage break. So, of course, as of right now, we're going to go to a commercial break. And we'll be back in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere, folks, as we have more Watkins Glen action to go.
Masker can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on. three wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Glen tries to force it off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn one.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Trish on the bottom.
Bouchard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh my
and to
goodness.
the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
You got a great car, great team. Let's go execute. Our time. We know what we got to do. Stay in the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction. Side by side, hammer down.
The interjection will count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out.
Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. What a victory this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag is going to end it.
Does he have enough? A dominant performance.
Gonna stay down, baby.
Let's go! Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can. Get it. One final shot.
We gotta earn this thing right here to the end.
It is all on the table.
A total 500.
Now, of course, stage 1 and 2 officially over. Stage 3 about to start now, and that's only 32 laps of racing. Of course, a little bit of an incident during stage 2 with about 5 laps to go with the 14 and the 73 of Lucas Lewis and Owen Lax. Now, of course, what we seem to be a racing incident, no contact from the booth, kind of maybe have been a little bit more than that. As we were under caution, we've noticed, just as we were going into caution, that Owen Lax seemed to give a little bit of a nudge to the 73, possibly showing some of his disinterest after that wreck.
Partner, and could have been a netcode issue. That is definitely possible, but as you said, from our end, it looked like it was just clean racing, and Lax just finally kind of ran out of that luck at that moment and spun out on his own.
Now, of course, getting ready to go green.
Back around here, we got Lucas Lewis in first, Peter Hoppy in second, Isaiah Fox in third, Owen Lax in fourth, and Mark Randall and Brandon on your top 5.
Green flag out. Back to racing we go. Stage 3, only 32 laps.
Lucas Lewis getting a great restart there. Kind of putting everybody else's dust as he's almost spun out there. Getting a little loose after that restart. I think everyone's forgetting that when they get these tires on, it's not like a super speedway where the tires warm up a little bit quicker, and these things are still a little bit cold until you start getting up to speed.
Now, of course, Lucas Lewis holding the lead on right now. Only has roughly 14 laps and then some. In the lead currently. Ooh, excuse me there. Trying to add a little bit more on the field tonight, of course. He still has a lot to go. Now looking at someone he's been fighting all night long, who has fell to second place, or excuse me, fourth place now. It's going to be Owen Lax. Left side following the leader of Lucas, right side following Owen. See the competition around him being Peter Hoppy. And of course, Mark Randall Jr. not too far behind. All right, partner, of course, you know, first Watkins Glen race you've had to deal with here in the booth. You know, how do you think it's going already?
You know, it's been clean racing, other than everyone just kind of...
We are having some technical difficulties with your mic right now. So, see if we can get this situated.
You know, we pay the production team so much for so little.
What a shot in the ribs as they can't even hear it. That was unnecessary, okay? Thanks so much. Stand up, gent.
Oh, and Lax spinning out again in the bus stop. That might be it for him after that one. Going to be throwing him further back into the field.
Okay, we're just going to get off this. I don't know what's going on with your mic, bud. I got your mic now. I don't know why I got your mic there. Lax with a spin out. You couldn't hear him. He called it out next to me in the booth. Lax with another spin out in the bus stop. Of course, you saw it on the cam. Now, lot of braking. Not much damage on the truck, but I mean, damage already done. Lax now falling to sixth. He is going to have one hell of a bid strategy to have to come back up in the lead. I mean, at this point in time, it's kind of gave this run to Lucas Lewis right now. Of course, Isaiah Fox not too far behind, but I mean, from what we've seen so far, I don't think Fox has it in him.
You know, Fox has been running a good race, but Lucas has been running a lot more consistent lines from what I've been seeing here. His lap times are staying a little bit more within a fair amount of time of each other each time, very consistent, about 0.2 every lap are of a difference. If Fox can start reproducing that here and now, he's going to have to, then he could pass him up, but as you see there, getting loose again. And it seems like everybody in this third stage is having a bit more trouble with keeping those tires from getting a little too squirrely on them, as Lax has already spun out. And every time you see these guys going around the track here, they're all almost spinning out in just about every other corner.
Now, of course, you know, it's been what some are going to call a difficult day. I mean, hasn't been the easiest day for a lot of these drivers right now, you know, and something you hate to see. You know, these guys look forward to these races on a weekly basis, and they try to do as good as possible. Of course, you know, sometimes it's just not their day. Right now, it seems like it's not not some people's days. I mean, of course, Lax was holding the lead pretty good there for a long time. You know, unfortunately, just had a bad situation early on, and you know, kind of screwed him out of a situation. I mean, looking at a few drivers here once again, showing off our work in the booth. Two view. That's what I like to call it. So I think I'm going to coin that term. I'm just going to start calling it two view. Right now, we got Lucas in the front. Hey, I think we have audio from you now. We're in this side. That's nice. It's good to know. Of course, you know, Lucas Lewis holding the front of the pack down right now. Looking at Mark Randall. Currently sitting in 5th place. Been doing a pretty good job so far to keep damage off of the car. He's up 4 spots from where he qualified. Still has a lot left to go and only 24 laps of racing. I mean, right now, if you were Randall, are you going to be comfortable with your top 5? Or are you going to try to push for more?
I mean, with Randall and the fact that his car is relatively clean.
Well, apparently we still don't have audio from him on this source. I don't know what is going on. Oh, you could hear yourself? Oh, well, apparently it's well, apparently our audio guys don't like you. So I don't know what to tell. I don't know what to tell you, buddy. Apparently, 2 view. It's we're never gonna have 2 guys. It's just gonna be 1 guy with 2 views. I mean, looking at it right now, we'll go back to the live here so we can get the partner back. You know, talking about Mark Randall, man. You know, sitting in 5th right now. You know, kept a lot of damage off the car up until this point in time. Do you try to push to get a better position, or do you just stay comfortable and content with where you're at? And I am getting word from audio now we have lost you entirely. Wonderful is right. Wonderful is... You know, this is why we should start testing these things before we start implementing these things. Oh, awesome. And for the second time tonight, it kicks me out of the sim. So we are going to go to another commercial break while we try to figure out this audio, and we're going to be right back in a few minutes.
Is my makeup messy? Yes, it's messy.
Consumer Cellular can help people save on their cell phone bills. That's why I cut my car in half. This year, let's cut even more things to show people how much they can save. Let's cut the face off of our helmets. Let's cut the top off of our steering wheel. Let's even cut our hats.
Isn't that just a visor?
Shut up, Chris. Great. Can't wait to see what y'all come up with.
Get your second month free with Consumer Cellular.
Right, we are back. I don't know if my partner's back. Partner's still not back. I love how your mic is just officially went kaput here. It's awesome. Lucas Lewis currently still in the lead as we go back to a one-man band here in the sky. There's not many other things I can think of to fix it, so we're going to try all of those things right now as the audio, the video, the broadcaster, and the developer is all doing everything at once. So, yeah, thank you. I appreciate you giving the shout out to the production team that nobody else can hear. Thank you very much. You are just one hell of a guy. Now, of course, it is a tough day, not only for the drivers, but for us, as we deal with the Watkins Glen curse. Hopefully at some point in time it gets better, as he's still talking next to me, as I could hear him through my headphones. And it's still not coming out, so, you know.
It is...
Great thing for you guys, because you don't have to hear his annoying voice, but bad thing for me, because I have to keep talking. Now I'm just going to grill him because he can't do anything about it. Just as hard as Lucas has grilled Owen Lax now, and probably what he's going to do for the remainder of the season, is they are friends off the track, and with 18 laps to go, it's not going to be looking good for Lax. You know, Lax had that spin out earlier. Now finds himself in 4th place, 13 seconds off the leader's tail, and we don't think he's going to be able to catch back up by now. So, you know, it's kind of set sails for the 14 here tonight, which is unfortunate because we know he normally has family watching and most likely has family watching now. So, if you were here for Lax, we are sorry for his loss. Does not. I don't even think I'm working. I would love to know how 2View broke all of this. If someone other than me can give me that answer, that'd be awesome. Because I'm very, very confused. Oh, we're gonna have you test your mic real quick. Yeah, we're testing nothing. I'm at a loss for words right now. 17 more laps to go. Lewis in the lead. You got Isaiah Fox just on the tail right now. No pun intended. Been a tough fought battle for the 73. I mean, he's been putting on a show now, sitting behind Lax for a few laps. Well, more than a few laps for the duration of stage 1 and 2. Now, you know, his time to shine coming with stage 3. I mean, it's been a little difficult for some of these guys to gain traction, but You know, it seems like he has slowly but surely been doing that. Now currently in the lead with the spin out from the 14, but now having to fight off the 09. Holy hell, Johnny Trucks with the 444 bits in the chat, dude. Thank you so much, man. Well, Kenny. Leaders going into pits. I mean, at least you could tell me what's going on in there, you know, in the rest of the field. I mean, I guess that's the benefit for here for the night. Now, of course, Isaiah Fox going to the lead as Lucas Lewis comes in. Peter Hoppy as well. Charlie Bennett, Mark Randall, all into pitch right now. Owen Lax not in pits. Isaiah Fox stayed out. Now with Lucas Lewis back out, it's going to close the gap between Lax and Lewis. 7 seconds split. Owen, Lax, and Lucas Lewis. Isaiah Fox out front by 33 seconds, about 33 3/4 almost of a second. Now having to fight his way back up and hold that position.
Oh, work, please.
Now Lax in, not Lax. Now Fox in this time. I'm losing my mind trying to get all of this worked out.
Lewis is out. He's coming back around the final turns now, so he's about to pass up Fox. Take first.
Hey,
back.
your audio's included. We got you.
Is it? Oh, wonderful. The good old Watkins Glen curse has been really hitting hard today.
The Glen. No more 2-view for the rest of the night. I know you guys probably loved it. It was a great addition here. We're going to have to do this. 2-view will be back tomorrow. I will say that. 2-view will be back tomorrow for the Cup side. The more prestigious side. Maybe, you know, if we pray to the gods tonight, we won't have to worry about it. Now, partner, get the folks caught up on, you know, how you're feeling about the race and a lot of the stuff you just saw there for those green flag cycles.
Well, going into those green flag cycles, you had Lucas Lewis going in first, and he was in first. After that, he got back out on the track pretty quickly, and he is taken back first with Fox in second. He has a giant lead right now with the fact that we're cutting down to about 14, 15 laps left here. He could run away with this right here, right now. You also have Isaiah Fox still behind him. He's powering along, trying to catch back up after he got passed up when he went through the pits there. He's been having good pace. He's been right on the back end of Lewis almost this entire stage. But can he make up that time now that he is going to be quite a ways back right now? In third, we have Peter Hoppy battling back there with Lax. Lax has had 2 spinouts today at the bus stop, really killing his race. And, you know, you wondered if he could catch back up, but at this point in the race, with the distance that's left to be made, and the fact that everyone is still a bit squirrely out there, I don't see Lax making that back up. And then Charlie Bennett, another guy that we've seen a bit up in the front, but in the second or this third stage has been struggling a little bit, kind of sitting in fifth right now, just kind of holding on, just trying to make it by.
You know, top 5 have been pretty resilient here so far tonight. We've seen a lot of these guys come out of the blue. Now, Isaiah Fox really wasn't in tension at all. I mean, he did qualify 4th, you know, up 2 positions right now. But for stage 1 and 2, he really wasn't anywhere in talks. You know, he kind of pulled himself up the ranks there and waited for a lot of other people to damage themselves out. You know, was in a first lap incident with Fisher and kind of ended Fisher's night early on. But, you know, now in an actual position to possibly prevail tonight after waiting around pretty hard. I mean, looking just outside the top 5, you got Mark Randall in 6th. I believe he has had no incidents tonight. He's probably running a 0X right now. I could be wrong. But, I mean, 6th place, if this is where his finishing position is, I mean, it's good enough for him. He's up 3 positions from where he started. He's still on the track here. Watkins Glen is a very difficult, difficult field. Getting some practice in for tomorrow, for the Gen 6 side here with some of the guys he'll be racing with tomorrow night as well. So, kudos to him trying to keep that car clean and not really worrying about position tonight, but, getting as much research and development down on the track during this race. Try to figure out what everybody's moves are going to be tomorrow. I mean, of course, 72 laps again tomorrow. It's called the Go Bowling 72. So we're going to have, or excuse me, yeah. It is Go Bowling 72. Sorry, I'm off pace now. The whole 2 view is throwing me way off. But yeah, so Go Bowling 72 is tomorrow. It's going to be kind of reminiscent of what we've had to deal with here tonight. So, a lot of these guys that are full-time competitors kind of got the upper hand right now.
Well, and partner, with where we're at in this race, and I think with how this race went, I think it's just kind of a good shining example to these drivers that for a track like this, just trying to stay consistent and not spin out, not get any wrecks or take any damage to your car, could end up proving to be the best strategy. As for Lucas Lewis here, he's just been running consistent and got lucky enough that Owen Lax, spun out multiple times and allowing him to get up in the front and kind of take over this race. And for Fox, I mean, he's kind of in a similar position. He just keeps on riding that car and just keeps it on the track and doesn't really screw up here. He could get lucky, and Lewis could make a mistake, giving Fox the win.
Now, it was a pretty good day here. I mean, some news we've really haven't released yet. Of course, Tyler Sanchez on the track, a.k.a. Nick Sanchez. He returned back to the league for the first time, the first start of 2026, shall I say. Unfortunately, out earlier in the night. He only ran 21 laps, 23 laps to be exact. He was driving the 48 last year part-time for Parker Motorsports, returns to the trucks on another part-time schedule. It's a little difficult, 25 to 75. The 75 has a win sticker. Of course, that is because Jordan Fisher got that Daytona win driving the 75. So, the number scored a win, just unfortunate situation. He wasn't, able to finish it here tonight. I mean, a lot going on. We have Peter Hoppy and Lucas Lewis with the points leads battle. Lucas will be finishing right now in front of Hoppy if all things go good for him and Isaiah doesn't overdrive him. I mean, Hoppy not too far behind. You see him maybe about 6 seconds back right now. Lax not too far behind him, but, they are fighting for the points battle. Of course, the question still remains of who is going to pull away with the win at Watkins Glen. I mean, we still have a lot. About 9 laps to go, 2 miles of track, 18 miles still left to go. Probably about 20 because it's like a 2.4 track, 22 miles roughly. So I mean, we're probably about 30 with carrying all of the 0.4s. But I mean, we still have a decent amount of mileage left to go here before we can actually officially say Lucas Lewis is the winner. So I mean, point situation, still hanging in the balance for Hoppy. Of course, we've seen at this point in time what Lax was doing with Lewis, or shall I say what Lewis was doing with Lax. He wasn't able to catch him within that 10 to 12 left, especially with that big gap. Now Hoppy's in the same situation. He's already lost a lot of time, now down 7.4 from the leader. So I mean, still, the way it stands, looking good for Lucas, but not solidified yet. Of course, following a lot of the other news we've had, you've seen a lot of part-time guys come down here and start and take a lot of wins away. I mean, we are on week 9 now. We only have 2 full-time drivers locked into the season. Next time we come back for season 2, drivers in the Cup Series moving forward in 2027 will be limited from 10 stars to 5 that they are allowed to participate in. Letting these drivers have more of a fair advantage to get the wins on tracks that they should be getting to lock themselves into the playoffs. It's just an unfortunate situation, partner, for Lax. He is sitting at the all-time wins board. Could have stretched it to 7 today.
Yeah, and for Lax, he was really hoping to come back and get back-to-backs at Watkins, after winning last year with Watkins. He was really hoping to get back here. And it seemed like at the start of the race that he could have done that. But that's what happens with a track like this, is those little mistakes can, ruin that entire race for you and pretty much put you out of contention just from little things, He didn't even really necessarily take any damage from any of the incidents that he's involved in, but just spinning out alone and puts him back in 4th place, where he's about 10 seconds behind the leader of Lucas Lewis.
I mean, thankfully, with him winning in the Gen 6 last year at Watkins, he's kind of in the same wheelhouse. Come tomorrow, he should be able to replicate as long as everything goes his way. Of course, still a powerhouse of a rookie class, so it's going to be very difficult for him. I mean, one good takeaway for him tonight, he still finishes in the top 5. He does have that pole, so now he leads the all-time pole wins by 8, or at 8, shall I say. So, I mean, it's still good for him. I mean, looking on to the side of the 73, though, of course, Lewis running for Parker Motorsports, they are going trophy hunting, as Isaiah Fox almost just broke loose there going into the carousel. That could have been bad for Lewis. Parker Motorsports going trophy hunting here, on track to win 30 races as an organization. They can go for win number 21 here tonight, should Lucas be able to hold off the 09 of Fox. Of course, there's going to be a lot going on right now. I mean, including, the 21 wins for Parker Motorsports as a team as a whole, between multiple series over the span of a few years now and on season 3. But if Lucas wins this, he will also tie Owen on the all-times win list and will be 4th in a row of Parker Motorsports, starting from Lucas's Richmond win 2 weeks ago in Cup.
And partner, it's starting to look more and more like Lucas Lewis is going to be pulling it off right now. Isaiah Fox behind him is making little small mistakes each and every lap, and not really getting himself in great positions here to try and make moves on him. He's been in a few different positions where he could have passed up Lucas Lewis, but then gets blocked out or shoved out to the outside and ends up running a bigger line than he intended to. So if he could strap some good laps together, he could try and get back up to him, but at this point he just keeps making those little minor mistakes that lose him a 1/10 of a second here and there. Lucas Lewis just putting together very consistent laps right now. His past 4 laps have all been within 1/10 of each other. And that's really what it's going to take to continue winning, any race anywhere. And it shows why Parker Motorsports, as he almost gets loose there. That might have been a bit of a curse from the commentator.
Good Lord, he almost broke loose again, too. Holy.
It just goes to show why Parker Motorsports is so dominant. You know, when you have a driver like Lucas Lewis who's able to put down very consistent times, all within of 1/10 of each other, you know, you're gonna have great success with a guy like that. Get loose there. Gave Fox a big opportunity to try and take back some of that time, but didn't really get a good position there to take advantage of it fully. That sadly is what I feel like the story of the night has been for Fox, as he's been back here second during this third stage, running pretty consistently, but like I said, just those little minor mistakes here and there is what's kind of costing him right now.
Now, you know, it's also a good thing right now, though, that it's kind of went the way it's been going, you know, for Lewis, as Fox seems to not be able to gain any time on him, even with his little bit of mistakes. Now, it also could be Fox is trying not to go aggressive contact there. That's... Whoa. A bad spot to make contact there. I mean, not a good area on the track. You really want to go side by side with, or even, you know, make slight contact. Thankfully, Lucas Lewis knows how to hold that steering wheel straight and not overcorrect himself. Gave him a little bit of contact back that kind of put Fox on his heels and made him back off just a little bit. But of course, now going into the bus stop, Lucas Lewis is going to have to fight a little bit harder. Fox is now slowly catching him again, and he needs to be on his P's and Q's. Only 3 laps left. Still a lot of miles to go.
Fox can throw down with these next laps some good consistent times and not have these little mistakes of going a little wide or here there, then he can catch back up to him and he can take that position back.
Whoa. Fox all over the track there in the last turn coming to the straightaway. There's about 7.2 miles left to go. 2 laps to go, of course. You know, really not throwing any caution, so the white flag will stop any roadblock cautions if it does happen to where race control needs to throw out a caution. But I feel like everybody's pretty stacked out right now, pretty far away. I mean, looking at these top 2 right now, they've been close the entirety of the race. Hoppy's not too far back from Lax, or Lax isn't too far back from Hoppy. Charlie Bennett kind of in a world of his own right there, and, you know, Mark Randall finishing out 6th place comfortably. You know, kind of by himself. So I think even if someone's spun right now, it's not going to cause caution. Now, I mean, the question is, how long is Fox going to be content sitting behind Lucas? Will he try to go for a dirty move? Will he give him the bump and run out of the way? Will he spin out the 73 and try to make it look like an accident? I mean, you know, after getting doored like that with a block, you kind of got to wonder, you know, are you going to be comfortable about it? Are you going to be calm, cool, and collected? Or you want to try to get something back?
You know, partner, this is definitely the time where it's going to start becoming a little bit more of a desperate moment to do something and do something now.
Well, for sure, because white flag is officially out now. It's the last lap of the race. There's a lot on the line. The 21st win for Parker Motorsports hanging in the balance. Lucas Lewis tying the all-time win list.
This Fox is right on Lucas's tail there.
Lucas
almost pushing him through the corner, but losing a bit of time. See, those were the little mistakes. He was a little too hard on the gas there and had to let up, so he didn't run into Lucas Lewis, and it loses him just that little bit of time that makes a difference right now.
Not many more corners. Isaiah going real deep. There goes the bump. There goes the shove. Lucas locks up the brakes.
Again.
He's trying to hold him back. Lucas with good maneuverability there. That is just stopped. the 09 from not only wrecking, but for saving. Oh my God, man. Congratulations to the 73. If that was me in the car, I do not think I would have been able to handle that.
Yeah, that is for sure, partner. That was a little bit more than just some bumps and grinds there. That was some tough pushes. He was just trying to get him out of his way, really.
I mean, for sure, you see him burning it down there in turn one, going for the victory lap now. A little nudge from the 14. They are buddies at the end of the day.
You know, that's good to see, especially after the incidents that they had together earlier, you know, when Lax was running up in the front. There was the speculation on our end that maybe there was a little bit of bad blood from that, and it looks like they, well, they're friends at the end of the day, so that's always great to see.
Of course, Mark Randall still finishing his time out on the track right now. Lucas Lewis gets the win. Want to go back. Not too far. Definitely not the white flag lap to watch it all over again, but give us a good view here. Let's go to Isaiah Fox. See if we can get that front cam on. All right, now we are going to be watching. This is from the 09's perspective, 73 in front. This is where he closed the gap, made contact once. That was an aggressive move there, trying to break him loose. Didn't work. Uses all of the apron, broke himself loose there. That's also something we didn't catch while being live. And then, of course, coming into the last two turns, you see him gain all that time, go out so he can overdrive that corner to succession. First bump, breaks him loose, saves it, breaks, bumps him again, breaks him loose again. And then the 73 just put on a show and held him off with a good run there. I mean, kudos, man. Kudos to the 73.
No partner up behind the wheel for Lewis there. It felt like he was probably driving in the middle of a tornado at that moment.
Whirlwinds all around him. Probably the most difficult thing for him to manage tonight was that last two turns. Great job. I mean, well-deserved win for the man. Finally gets the second win in the Truck Series. Locks himself in the history books by another position. Now he ties Owen on the all-time wins list. Now this is also going to be interesting going tomorrow, because now it's going to be Owen Lax and Lucas Lewis fighting to break the tie on the all-time win list. Of course, Lucas Lewis finishing in first, Isaiah Fox finishing in second, and Hoppy in third. Those are going to be our top three interviews here for you guys tonight. Don't go anywhere. These drivers do a lot throughout the week to put the show on for you, and they do appreciate it, and would appreciate it if you stuck around to listen to their interviews. Now, of course, as always, starting from third and working our way to our winner. First interview tonight is going to be coming from someone that had a pretty good race, but unfortunately not good enough for him. Fighting for that points lead tonight. It kind of slips away a little bit from him, but still in the grasp. That is going to be the 83 of Peter Hoppy.
Hello.
Hey, bud.
That was fun.
I mean, it looked fun from up here. I don't know about driving it myself, but it looked to be
It wasn't
fun.
too bad tonight.
So, I mean, of course.
Yep.
No, it was tough at sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
Started in 5th. Worked your way up through the stages. Stage 1 and 2, kind of small, similar, 20 laps. It was a little icebreaker for stage 3. Now, coming out for stage 1 and 2, of course, they're similar, so it really doesn't change your strategy up much. What was your strategy coming into the Glen tonight in the trucks?
Survive. Honestly, was not expecting to have that good of a race. The Hive Motorsports Chevy was real fast tonight. Not the fastest, obviously. Isaiah had the fastest truck. It's just hard battling between them. Stages, we had a pit once in each stage, so it was like just kind of split the first two. Did fuel only, and all my stops in the stages. Only time I took tires was at the end of the stage 1 and stage 2, and it let me jump a couple guys in stage 1 after I had a checkup for Isaiah spinning. Other than that, yeah, just keep it smooth, don't wreck it, and just finish the race for some points.
Now, of course, man, coming in here tonight, it was a points battle between you and Lewis. Still having to really fight for those points at an early on stage in the season. I mean, only 2 of you guys that are, actual full-time drivers are locked in, that being you and Lucas Lewis. I mean, right now it was 323 points to your 321 before the start of this race. Only behind by 2 points. With this win here, and it kind of slipping away just a little bit more. How are you going to attack the rest of the season now, trying to get that regular season championship back in grasp?
Well, let's see. Next week at Talladega should be a fun race. Anything can happen. I'm a draft masters guy, so I'm always good at super speedways. Then the rest of the series, Lime Rock might be a struggle. I've never driven that with the trucks. Then after Lime Rock, it's a pretty good racing for me all the way up to basically the playoffs. So I think just gotta keep staying consistent. Lucas is not making friends on the track from what I've seen and heard, and who knows, it may come back and bite him.
I mean, of course, man, it's a tough season schedule. Not one of the easiest for you guys. I mean, Watkins, Glen, like you said, Lime Rock. They should be a little bit better in the trucks than the Arcas, or the Cup cars. So that should be a plus for you. But I mean, still a lot of notably hard tracks on the regular season. I mean, we have Gateway, Montreal, Nashville, IRP, North Wilkesboro. A lot of difficult tracks. Of course, the 2.5 mile track Pocono, where we actually go to 2.5 mile oval. So it's still a lot of opportunities, and possibly a lot of opportunities for hardships as well. Do you kind of feel like any of those races can kind of hinder your opportunities to really pull away in points on Lucas?
Definitely Lime Rock and Montreal are going to be a struggle. I don't even know if I even own Montreal, so hopefully I'll get that before that happens. Short tracks, North Wilkesboro is going to be probably a struggle. We'll see if the track condition and temps pretty good. It won't be too bad. Gateway is actually really fun. I love Gateway. Um, Other than that, I don't really think I'm gonna get hindered too much, as long as I just stay consistent. I mean, I'm not really trying to get a regular season championship, but it would be nice to have some extra points. And yeah, just trying to go for the actual championship, and that's the one that matters.
Now, of course, man, kind of pick your brain about tonight here a little bit. Of course, not many laps, stage 1, 2, and 3. Of course, it went by probably a lot quicker than what you guys expected, but of course, probably felt like it was droning on in the car. Did the race feel like it got longer the farther the pack got away from each other, or did it really not make a difference?
Yeah, I mean, when you're running by yourself, it's definitely feels like the race is just dragging on. But when at least you're battling someone, it's you got some entertainment. And honestly, it was very good practice for tomorrow night because it's the same stages too. So it's definitely a struggle running by yourself, but at least you can run clean laps by yourself.
Now, trucks probably about the best series to run here at Watkins Glen with the actual downforce and the just the handling itself. Were there, of course, a lot of people with that left fender damage, kind of pulling a book out of Tyler Reddick's handbook, but unfortunately couldn't get the win with it. Now, do you feel like there could have been some more work done with these cars to make them feel better here, or were they about as good as you feel like they could have got tonight?
Man, that's a tough one. I mean, obviously there might be something that'll help me personally could have been done. I don't really know. Maybe the track could have been a little cooler. Maybe it could have been a little hotter. I think it all comes down to everyone's driving style. Personally, I think it was a pretty good for me, considering my record for road courses was not that great.
No, I mean looking at where you were, to begin with, for stage 1 and 2, packs really didn't fall off that bad until stage 3. Of course, a lot of people wrecked out, and then I feel like you guys just kind of just fell into your own groove instead of fighting so hard. Now, did at any point in time in stage 1 and 2, when you saw their pit cycles, Lax pitted pretty early. He was the first one in pit, cycled himself back out into the lead, and of course, on the outside looking in, you don't know exactly when the driver's going in unless they announce it. So, did you, once you realize kind of like their strategies going in and out of pits, did it make you change your own, or did you just stay with your own program?
Nah, I just stayed with my own program. I mean, obviously there was some late calls that kind of caught me off guard because they called them way too late. But I think my strategy was set in stone from the beginning, and it was pretty fun.
Now, of course, man, before we let you go, we're always going to ask you if you have any shout-outs you'd like to give to anybody.
I always like to thank my team owner, Spencer Morris, getting me in this league. Jordan for running it, you for streaming it. You guys do a great job, and hopefully we can have a good finish tomorrow.
Well, of course, congratulations on the top 3 finish here tonight. Definitely look forward to seeing what you're going to be able to do tomorrow back here at the Glen. So get your rest, and hopefully we're talking to you again tomorrow night.
Yeah, shoulder hurts after using my H pattern.
Yeah, I can imagine, dude. Good Lord.
Driving one-handed.
Yeah, paddle shifters are nothing for me. I'm sorry. No way. Yeah. No way.
I've got them. I chose not to use them.
Yeah. Well. Here, before we let you go, the last question of the night: are you going to be using that H pattern tomorrow?
Oh heck no! I'm using paddles for tomorrow.
There you go. Hey, at least you'll learn now, not tomorrow, where it actually mattered.
Yeah.
All right, man. We hope you have a good rest of your night. We'll catch you tomorrow.
Thank you. Catch you tomorrow.
Yeah, no problem. Good guy, man. 83, Peter Hoppy. Finishing third, started in fifth. I mean, not a bad night for him, Kenny. Of course, still not where he wanted to be, but, of course, top three is better than nothing at all. Mic not working again. All right. Moving on to second.
Sorry about that, partner. I was in the bathroom there. I had to tinkle. I didn't want the whole world to hear that.
Well, I appreciate it. I think the 11 people watching across both platforms appreciate it too. Well, moving on to second place finisher. This is a man that was trying to hawk down the winner for a long time. Of course, he started in fourth place and, tried his best to get up into the lead, made a little bit of contact here and there to try to break him loose. That's going to be the 09 of Isaiah Fox.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm pretty good.
Now, little difficult for you there at the end. You weren't able to get the win as expected. You kind of put the bumper on him, trying to break him loose, run him out of the corner, and get the position. You gained a lot of time over driving a few of the last few turns. I've truthfully never seen anybody use the excess of track to gain as much time you did. I think you gave me a trick to have to use myself for future reference. But coming from the start of this race, did you feel like after stage 1 and 2 with just a blowout between Lax and Lucas, did you even feel like you had the opportunity to be fighting for that win there at the last 5 laps?
Well, for starters, you're welcome. I'm happy to help as always. And after the thing for me was I kind of got put in a hole in stage 1 because I got spun once or twice and just got a lot of damage. So I was just kind of out of it in stage 1. I had to fix a lot of damage at the stage end, throw on some tires, and that killed me for stage 1. Stage 2, I just didn't really have the track position, and it was very frightening. I knew I had decent speed, but I just didn't know if I quite had the speed to match Lewis and Lax. Unfortunately, Lax fell off. We could have had ourselves a really good 3-car race, but in the end, I feel like I had the better car. It's really hard to pass sometimes. Just never was able to get it right. Lucas Lewis did his job. I was super glad to finally have some clean racing with Lucas, because I mean he's a guy that me and him, we've had our run-ins in the past, and but we are really great friends, and he's a guy that I look up to on track and ask for advice, and he's helped me become a better driver here in Neres, and I appreciate all he's done for me, and I appreciate the fact that we can finally have a good clean battle, because recent weeks we've just kind of been running into each other. Temper's been flaring, but just super. If I was full time, I think I'd be a little bit happier, but part time, you really want to get that win. Especially first race, Red Tail is running for the trucks. I got 6 more coming before this season is done. So obviously the goal is to win races. I've been absolutely lights out in the truck series. And I'm just super excited to focus forward. Dega next week, always a fun one. But I was glad I got a chance in that third stage. I feel like I kind of got a second chance, or really a third chance, to really have a go at that win.
I mean, man, we saw you win just 2 weeks ago at Bristol for the Coliseum 200. Looked like you had the opportunity at one point in time. Well, excuse me. 2 weeks ago. Now, came pretty close here tonight. Of course, got released from Owen Lax Motorsports, and kind of outbeat your ex owner at this point in time. After getting released and finishing higher than your previous owner. How does that kind of help, make you feel? Of course, not full time, but does it kind of boost your spirits to go get that win next time you come out when you're competing against them?
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, it obviously adds another component of just competitiveness. Me and Owen are very respectable drivers. I respect him, he respects me, and we race hard, we race good. I have a lot of fun racing with him. Obviously, racing etiquette around him was a little bit different today, just not being on that team aspect side of things. But yeah, I unfortunately I feel like we could have been lining up for a good one between me, Lucas, and Owen. Just cards didn't fall that way, and Owen ended up falling off. But definitely a driver that you always look for going forward here in the Truck Series and also in the Cup Series. I know he's a phenomenal road racer, so he should be someone to worry about tomorrow for sure. But yeah, just that other level of competitiveness. It's a nice addition. We didn't get to do much on track racing as we were kind of separated for most of the race, but yeah, that's just brings another fun aspect into it for me personally.
Now, of course, going and looking at the last pit stop for you guys, of course, 72 laps in total was the end of the race. Lucas pitted at 57, you pitted at 58. If you were to go in at the same time as him, do you feel like you would have been in that lead position fighting off Lucas, or do you feel like, it would have hindered your second place finish?
Well, I think the thing for me was I was faster than Lucas by enough to where I think whoever came out in pit road, if he was to jump me by a lap, then I would be able to run him down. And I did do that. He came out about 3.5 seconds in front of me, and in about 3 to 5 laps, I was able to get back to him. And I mean, at the end of the day, really, it was I had 10 laps to get the pass done and just wasn't able to complete it. So he did his job. I was really the one who didn't do my job in getting that position. Um, it's definitely not a position I'm used to being in. I'm not a road course racer myself. I really surprised myself with the speed I was able to bring in this red tail truck tonight. But yeah, really, I don't think the pitting had much to do with it. Now I think if I would have pitted maybe the same lap and jumped him, then I think that's where you get the difference. I think I would have been able to drive off and win if I could have gotten out in front of him. So, I mean, these are the things that you look at and you study and you hopefully take those. And again, this is a part-time ride, so it just trying to help myself give me a better chance for tomorrow for the Cup Series. Still trying to chase win number one of the season, and I'm confident tomorrow. This race is a huge confidence booster for me just to see I can go out and do what I need to get done on a road course. I can turn right apparently, and yeah, I just feel like all in all, Lucas did his job, and I was just the one who fell short and didn't do my job.
Now, like you were saying, you had 10 laps to chase him down. Unfortunately, couldn't get it done to get the lead or even fight nose to nose for the win. Is there anything that you feel like you could have done differently within those 10 laps to kind of give yourself that edge to even, finish crossing the line side by side?
Absolutely. I mean, it's all split second decisions, and you hear that all the time in racing. It's just you go an inch too deep into the corner and you're gonna miss your spot and could mess up your corner. That's could be I mean, when you got 10 laps to go, you go through if the bus stop's your best part on the track, you go through it 10 times. You have 10 really good opportunities. And if you miss one, then that's just one opportunity wasted. And it's just opportunity after opportunity after opportunity wasted. Like about lap 70 was really the first time I had the momentum to make a move and he was able to cover it off. I mean, should I sent it in deeper? Should I have gone lower? Should I have cleaned him out? And it's all these split second decisions. And if you just don't make the right one, you're never gonna have those chances back. So that's the hard part about it. And you learn, you move on, and you try and go get him next time.
Of course, man, before we let you go, You have any shout-outs you'd like to give to anybody?
But yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Lucas Lewis, especially. That was and Owen Lax, but especially Lucas, because like I said, he's been like a brother to me in my Nares journey, and our on track racing hasn't quite been the cleanest, but I'm just super happy to get the clean racing in today. He raced me with respect. I raced him with respect. Not sure Owen could say the same thing. I'm sure he's got a few words for him, but glad we could do that. Shout out to Jordan and yourself and Kenny here in the broadcast booth for putting this on for us. I feel like we had ourselves a pretty good race. I believe it was only the stage caution, so a lot of green flag action, a lot of fun, and I believe there will be a lot of fun to come tomorrow too. So definitely, you guys watch and tune in for that as well.
Well, of course, man, congrats on the second place finish tonight. Wasn't the win we were hoping to possibly see you pull out of the hat, but, still a good finish after starting in fourth, gaining 2 spots, and getting the job done where it mattered the most. Now on to tomorrow for the same track, but a different car, so hopefully we're talking to you again in less than 24 hours.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. Have a good night.
Yes, sir. You too. That was the 09 for Red Tail Racing now. Isaiah Fox. Good race for him. He tried to, put the bumper on the 73 at the last few laps there, trying to make him, break loose a little bit. That's part of racing. Just unfortunately couldn't get it done in the amount of time that he had, which still an unfortunate situation for him. But hey, look, second place finish. Really can't go wrong with that.
You're right, partner. As long as you push your hardest and give it every last thing you got, nobody's ever going to be mad at you at the end of the day.
Now, of course,
your enemies might, but your team won't.
That's also something you have to worry about. Like he was saying, enemies can be created on the track easily, and it's kind of hard to forgive after an enemy has been created. Now, someone that has been on a good path this season, not only for the trucks but the Cup side as well. He's tried to clean up his racing a lot. Had a few immaculate saves tonight. Missed contact with the 14 to get the job done at an early point of stage 3, and officially solidified a tie on the all-time win list record. That would be the 24 in the Cup, but the 73 here tonight of Lucas Lewis.
Yellow.
Well, man, didn't take long for you to talk to us again. This is 2 back-to-back victories for you here. You won last week at Bristol. You won this week at Watkins Glen. I was mistaken when I was talking to Isaiah because he won Texas. But it is what it is. We make mistakes. But yeah, win last week at Bristol. Win here at Watkins Glen. Tied for the all-time win list. Now tied at 6 with Lax. Slowly been moving up on the boards for everything. Of course, you'll move up on laps led as well. Unfortunately, not the pole win. I mean, claiming the 21st victory for Parker Motorsports, putting the team even further into the standings now. How are you feeling after the accomplishment here tonight?
I feel very worn down after doing 72 laps here. I feel honored to be able to put my name into some of the history books here in Naris. I even told you 2 weeks ago at Texas and at Bristol, don't count me for this race. I said it. I didn't think I was gonna have a chance. I thought I was gonna be wrecking every lap because I'm not really a road course guy. I don't know how we did it. I don't know what black magic I had to pull out right there, or a lucky horseshoe, or a rabbit's foot, whatever lucky thing you believe in. I don't know what I pulled out, but I'm honored to be able to have a chance to win a road course of all places.
Now, you and Hoppy came into this pretty close on points. It was 323 to like 321. There was only like a 2 point separate distance. Now you have officially claimed first by a better margin, 375 to 359. Only two of you guys, full-time drivers, still locked to the first round. It is going to be a points race for everybody else. After tonight, points are not officially updated yet. You're still looking pretty good on the top of the board. Of course, Hoppy's going to gain some points, but not as much as you have been able to gain here tonight. I'm sorry, I'm stammering, trying to figure out everything. Of course, points are in the works of being finalized here today. But, I mean, still, good race win for you. Not only, is it going to boost you in points, finishing in front of Hoppy for all three stages, but, I mean, still, how are you feeling about the regular season run right now for the championship with, your multi-win season already? I mean, of course, can't say we're done yet. I mean, you won Watkins Glen now. You won Bristol last week. We still have a decent amount of races to go before regular season's over. How are you feeling about your opportunities?
Well, I feel even more confident going into Talladega next week for the points. I just gotta hope, maybe just because I know last year we didn't win the regular season championship. It's honestly an honor to even have a chance to win a regular season championship in a different series now. I'm so trying to not be worn out from Watkins Glen. Sorry. I feel confident. I think Bristol was the breakout win, and I feel like there's a lot more to come for more wins, and hopefully it's more wins for us because I think Jordan will be even more happier signing me again. But yeah, I hope that this is a sign of things to come, and it's not a sign of things to go bad, and I immediately start falling off, and I can't talk to you guys.
No, I mean, looking at the season, you counted yourself out, which now I can't believe anytime you ever say, I don't have an opportunity to get the win. But, I mean, of course, going to the lottery race next week at Talladega and then back to another road course for Lime Rock, we've already asked you this last week, but, how now that you've got this win at a track you kind of counted yourself down and out for, how are you feeling about, your opportunity to claim more wins, and what tracks do you feel like you can do it at?
I feel like I can't do it at any other track whatsoever. I'm only saying that because apparently that's the only reason why I win races. But to be quite frank, sorry, I'm pulling up the schedule so I know what races are coming up next. Talladega, that's going to be iffy. I don't know what I'm going to do there. Lime Rock, off of what today was, I hope it's a good race for me. Charlotte, actually no, Dover. No, I'm already counting myself out from Dover. But Pocono and Charlotte and hopefully Daytona, I hope I have chances to win those. And that's really, I'm kind of looking in between. I'm sectioning off weeks and kind of just focusing on what races I need to focus on for those races. So that's the game plan for me, and hopefully it works. Is to focus on those weeks when they come up and to give more track time, because that's what I did this past week. I practiced on Monday, Watkins Glen, and then it didn't really help that every other track was at, or every other series was at Watkins Glen. So I kind of had a bit more experience there. So I'm hoping maybe to do the same thing for Lime Rock, for Charlotte, for Pocono. I can't really practice for Daytona because it's a super speedway. But that's going to be the new game plan for me, is to try to at least get some practice in before the races.
Now, of course, 72 laps here tonight, 72 laps tomorrow as well. Now you're worn out from today. Do you feel like some of that wear is going to carry over tomorrow, or do you feel like by the time green flag drops, you'll be refreshed and ready to go?
I wish I could be refreshed and ready to go. I have the Indy 500 tomorrow, so that's going to be even more fun.
Oh, God.
So, long day of racing tomorrow. I would say it's around because it's 500, and then you have. Oh, he didn't have the miles up. Shoot. It's a lot of miles tomorrow for me, so I'm hoping maybe to either that wreck out early and I get more time to focus and rest, or just do what I always do and kind of just go with the flow. That's what really is going to be tomorrow is for me, is just go with the flow and hope maybe I finish good and maybe I finish top 3 and talk to you guys.
And, of course, stage 1 and 2, Lax it was practically on the ball. Kind of felt like he was kind of unstoppable. Did you feel like there was something you had to change within those first 2 stages to be able to try to hawk him down? Of course, that accident happened in front of your nose. You were able to avoid that, and then it kind of just kept going downhill for the 14 and gave you a better run. Now, of course, he was kind of down and out for the rest of stage 3, but with the first 2 stages and then the stage 3 start, did you kind of feel like you were at a disadvantage to Lax, or did you feel like you could have had him on that stage 3 pitch strategy if all went well for him?
He was the class of the field. I feel bad making that move. Like, looking back at it, if I would have waited, I would have been perfectly fine and justified with that move. He kind of showed me what I did wrong, and I take the blame for the bus stop. I did sit way over my head and messed him up a little bit, but at the same time, I got to thinking about it. I didn't touch him, so I don't feel like I'm really that much at fault. It's just he was the class of the field, and I tried my best to get around him. And once he started kind of swerving a little bit on the straightaways, that's what really showed me how desperate he might get for it. So I was like, I know I need to trip him up and kind of get him off his game to be able to make a pass on him. And that's the reason why I sent the bus stop, was to hopefully get him off his game, and not for him not to realize oh, he's never gonna send it there, and I'm gonna send it there and hope that maybe he makes a mistake. And he did go into the bus stop. I looking back on it, I feel a little bit bad now, but I feel like that's what really set me up, was him getting kind of in his head a little bit and him wrecking even more. That's really kind of got me up into a better spot. The real worry was Isaiah, because Isaiah, he was decently fast. I wouldn't say, because he told me this plenty of times, he said he was the best car out of the field. He was not. It was more worry for Isaiah, because I was kind of keeping it easy, not to try to wreck the truck, and he was just trying to send it and hope to get by me. And I was very thankful that I was able to out strategize him and then outmaneuver him during the last couple laps. Many a times I thought he was going to use that 4 tires and drive away, and I had to keep my head down and hope maybe we have a chance here. But I knew deep down I didn't think I was going to win the race. That was be Isaiah. And then once he started falling off, and that's what got me more confident. I was able to start sending it a little bit deeper each and every time. And the bad part is I messed up the entry to the bus stop. I went down to second gear and let him catch right back up to me and have him have a chance to win the race. So I'm very thankful that the way that this race turned out, and I'm hoping tomorrow maybe we have a chance because of tonight, and hopefully it's the same way, because if it's the same way, I might win the race again.
Now, of course, that speaking of Isaiah, that last lap kind of got a little heated in the air for us up here. Didn't know what to expect or what was going to happen. Did you, of course, an immaculate save from you twice, exiting that last turn onto the front stretch to claim the checkered flag past the line. Now, did you kind of feel like that move was expected, or did it kind of catch you off guard?
Expected. Way expected. I thought he would do way earlier. So it was kind of off guard that he waited to that final corner. But all I know is he raced me clean, which is hopefully a right step in the direction for him. He mentioned in the waiting room, I would call it the cool down room, that he was like, "Oh, you finally started racing me clean, yada yada yada." I felt like I've raced him clean for most of my career here and most of the career over in Naira and all that. And I feel like I was a little bit disrespected by that, because I feel like I've tried to race him clean plenty of times. It's just once he does something to me, I'm gonna retaliate right back. I mean, if he doors me, I'll door him right back. I've shown it plenty of times before, and I think now with these wins, I have really nothing to lose. That much. I'm not gonna wreck the guy, flat out wreck the guy, but I'm gonna race him more aggressive if he does the same moves. So that goes for everybody. If take me off the wrong way, I'm gonna retaliate back, and hopefully, if it's a wreck, I will feel bad. If it's not a wreck, then it was hopefully deserved.
Now, man, before we let you go, just two more questions here. You know, when Lax went into pits that first stage, you know, it felt like you guys were trying to play that waiting game of seeing who was going to go in first, and then trying to, you know, over throttle your corners, put as much time on as possible. Realizing his pit cycle for stage one, did you try to adapt your pit cycles for the rest of the race, or were you just still kind of running on your own strategy?
Well, what happened? He took no tires. I'm pretty sure. I haven't even asked him yet. I probably should ask him to get more accurate information. But I think he took no tires.
I believe he did. It was a quick stop.
And I took two, and that's what really kind of set me off a little bit on the strategy for stage two, was to do the no tire stop and hopefully gain. And you saw how much I gained on him on that pit stop. He was extremely slow. He got kind of lucked out with the pit road being able to cut turn one, unlike the actual track where you can't really cut turn one without wrecking it. But it really also, if I never did that two tire strategy in stage one, I never would have made the two tire strategy call in stage three. So I'm thankful that I was able to go off of him for stage two, but I knew deep down that two tire stop, because left side was going to get killed, was going to be the way to go. And it showed tonight that it really was the way to go, with me being able to hold off Isaiah and the four tires that he had.
Now, of course, man, last question for the night for you. Now that you're in victory lane once again, of course, you know, we always like to ask if you have shout-outs you'd like to give.
Oh, you know me. First up, I hope I don't fall off the car like Connor Zillich, because I like to finish this weekend. First, I thank God always for being able to put me in these situations and being able to test me like tonight. Thankful for my parents for always watching these races. Thankful for my grandparents for helping me out with this and getting me basically started on this. I'd like to thank Owen Lax for being an okay driver. Isaiah for being the most humblest guy ever and letting me have a chance to win a race, I guess. I also like to thank you guys, as always, for streaming these races, the fans in the virtual attendance, and the fans in the stream. I'm sorry I was able to do the oh god, the backwards lap through the front stretch. I was going to do it, but I got disqualified. So, and I'd like to say just thank you to Jordan for putting these races up and always dealing with me and dealing with everybody in this league, mainly Charlie. And I like to say just thank you to everybody that shows up and races these races to be able to run these races. And also thank the Mason Swanberg for running the 12 truck.
Well, of course, man, congrats on the back-to-back victories. It was not expected, as you said earlier, you know, last week, that you were kind of counting yourself down and out for this race. But, of course, you know, you got it done when it mattered the most. Tough fought battle from everybody tonight. But, of course, you were able to prevail through all of the damage. and just the miscalculations from other drivers. So, of course, congrats on not only the win, but also tying Owen Lax on the all-times win list.
Thank you, thank you.
Hopefully, we're talking to you again tomorrow too, man.
Hopefully.
Until then, man, we hope you have a good one.
You too, guys. I was gonna say something and then I immediately forgot. So bye.
Later. That being your winner of the night, Lucas Lewis, on a back-to-back win streak for him. 21 wins now for Parker Motorsports overall as a team. Number 2, tied with Owen Lax on the most wins. It's pretty good. Pretty good. What was I about to say there?
Pretty good
Lucas is
racing.
rubbing
Is that
off
where
on
you're
me.
going there?
I don't know. Lucas is rubbing off on me now. Good Lord, man. Pretty
It has been
good
a long
stretch.
night for everyone.
This was one of the fastest broadcasts. Shoot. Lucas, had a pretty good strategy when it all mattered. It put the pressure on the 14 of Lax. Lax, unfortunately, couldn't handle it when it mattered the most for him. And, thankfully, Lucas was in that position to do so. Of course, looking forward to seeing what tomorrow's going to have in store for us as well as we go back here one more time for the year. Watkins Glen, Go Bowling 72 for the NARS Cup Series Gen 6 cars tomorrow, 8:45 for the green flag. Lewis takes the win here tonight with Isaiah Fox finishing in second, Hoppy in third. Lax, unfortunately, going to fourth place after a few incidents on the track. Charlie Bennett rounding out your top 5. Just outside of that top 5 is Mark Randall after a confident and comfortable night for him in sixth place. Cole Darcy finishing in seventh. Boris in eighth. Josh Ryder at ninth. Amanda Rude rounding out your top 10. Of course, live coverage has officially concluded for us here on the Asphalt Racing Network. We would like to thank you guys, as always, for tuning in and watching it through and through, whether that was on Twitch or YouTube. Of course, be sure to drop us a follow on either platform. Turn your post notifications on to know when we go live. We go live 5 times a week here on Twitch. 2 of them for NARS. Monday for the American Stock Car Racing League, where they start their playoff round of 12 this week. Right Time ARCA on Wednesday. Thursday for the Truck Series, as they start their playoffs next week as well. NARS Truck Series on Fridays, with a Gen 6 car farewell tour on Saturdays. That being tomorrow. One more 72-lap race to go at Watkins Glen for 160 miles. And man, oh man, is it going to be a fun one.
Partner, I hope it's just as fun as the great fun we had out here tonight. Some rather clean racing, and I think this is probably a good learning experience for a lot of the guys that are going to end up being there tomorrow.
I will say it is going to be a tougher fought battle tomorrow for a lot of these drivers, as this field is going to be increased, of course, by more drivers showing up. Full-time competitors for the Cup Series are overweighing the full-time competitors for the Truck Series Season 1. So I'm expecting to at least have a minimum of 25, maybe 30 cars on track tomorrow. So, of course, not much difference from the drivers here tonight. But, of course, adding another 8 to 10 drivers is going to make a difference. So we will see how that's going to go tomorrow for the drivers. Of course, once again, everybody, on behalf of the Fisher Studios Truck Series, NARS as a whole, and the Asphalt Racing Network, we would like to thank you guys for tuning in. Of course, we will be back tomorrow for more live coverage of the Gen 6 cars. We hope to see you there. If we don't see you there, we look forward to catching you back here next time. Of course, thank you, Kenny, for joining us in the booth again tonight. We look forward to seeing you back tomorrow, where maybe 2View will work a little bit better than what it did tonight.
Yes, partner, and we will have some work to do tomorrow before our broadcast, but hopefully we can give you just as good of a broadcast tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen.
Until then, we're going to leave you with a white flag lap that let Lucas Lewis take away the win. We hope you all have a good night. We will catch you later.